Okay. Okay. Drift. Hello, Jack. Kronos. It's time, boys. Mm. Oh man, I'm anxious. I'll tell you that, right? I'm gonna start dragging people in a second. Look how many people are ready to get in. Right, hang on. Let's drag in Brad first. Brad's my boy. Brad.
Yo,
Hello. Talk to people. Introduce yourself. I'm just gonna take my jumper
introduce
off because I'm
myself.
boiling.
Right, lads. My name's Brad. Uh, I'm better than Dubzo at Halo 2, and yeah.
Not awkward at all. Alright, I'll get Cryphon in here. Hey Cryphon, what's up?
Hello.
Cryphon probably doesn't need to introduce himself. Everyone who follows me already knows him.
Is that who I am?
AFC, hello.
This was a mistake. Is your stream live? I'm not seeing it on
Yeah, we
Twitch
live,
right
we
now.
live. It's scuffed as
Okay.
hell, but we live.
Let me just refresh, I guess. Okay, yeah, there we go. I see your name now.
Jack, hello.
Hello,
Jack, do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Jack.
Cool. That'll do.
Great
Nice.
introduction.
Kronos, hello. I'm doing people randomly here. I don't think anyone, hope no one like thinks I'm introducing
Ew.
people.
I went first, so I'm clearly the best.
G Pro, what's up?
Hey. Send help.
RHM, did you pronounce your name RHM?
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Cool. What's up? Welcome.
Like,
Okay. Right. Since I'm the host, I guess I need to sort of lead, don't I? Huh?
yeah.
That's generally what hosts do.
Alright. So, let's get started. We've got topics on stream. So, I guess the best way to do this, I don't want people just shouting over each other and stuff, so I'm gonna like let people take turns. If you wanna talk, like obviously you might have to be patient at times, but everyone will get a chance to speak, I'm sure. So, alright, let's start with the main thing that was discussed after Rana's ban, unfortunately, but this is probably the stuff which affects the most people that aren't directly involved, like all of us, but the actual viewers in the community. This is quite an important point. So, should Rana's times be deleted?
So, I'll just say this right now. I think they should be deleted, and the main reason why is that Halo runs as a private site. You know, it's not like a government entity. It has the authority to do whatever it wants, keeping anyone on or off the platform. And in this case in particular, they didn't want someone with a history of sexual abuse and predation on the site, which is a pretty good reason if you ask me. And it does become inaccurate, but it's always had inaccuracies down to like history 100 never submitting his runs, and he had most of the records, obviously, for Halo 3 for a while.
Yeah.
People still acknowledge his times for what they were, and if they wanted the site to be accurate, they were just told to beat it.
Yeah.
And I think community safety should take priority over any record keeping, and the admins, you know, they backed everything up, so what more can you want?
Yeah, it's true. So it's been discussed a little bit, the idea of potentially keeping the times but removing his name from them. Anyone
I'd
got any
have
thoughts on that?
I'd have to know exactly how that would work. Like, what would the link be if you clicked the time on the leaderboard?
I guess at the start there'd be no link at all.
Well, to be fair, he did just delete all of the videos, so there wouldn't probably be a link.
Yeah.
Oh shit,
Yeah,
did he really?
I guess
Oh,
that's kind of
deleted.
new stuff that's come up today. I guess we can touch on that. Rana's deleted all of the videos.
I think one way to do it would just be to have the times listed. No link to videos, no acknowledgement of the runner, just the time. This is a record.
Yeah.
Mhm.
As it was in the past. Like, that's one way that could be done.
I don't know how
Well-
I'd feel about that.
I think that would be. No, go ahead. Sorry.
I how because the thing that I think about with that in particular is why should this in particular have I guess an exception of not having a run despite being a top time, because you should provide proof for your times. So even if it's listed, I don't think it should be listed if it doesn't have any proof, whether he's not on the site or whether he is on the site,
Yeah.
because
I-
I just don't see that just flying, because then who are you going to make the exception for after that?
That's
Well,
a good
here's
point.
Oh, go ahead,
Uh,
Anson.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that when Krypton removed his times, there was a forum post made on all of the times. So even though it wasn't featured on the leaderboard, like it was still being acknowledged. Maybe we could do the same with Rana, just make a forum post. These were all of his times. That way they can still be on the site in a way without directly featuring it.
Mhm.
And
Because
it's
even
not
if-
like it's not like his runs didn't happen either. They were all verified. They had proof at one point.
Yeah, yeah. They've all been
Right.
seen before.
It's not
Like,
just a random I claim to do this.
Yeah, an idea I mentioned was to download the videos and post on a YouTube channel that doesn't associate with Rana. It's just like
Uh,
Halo
that
runs
would
or
be
something.
much
That's
work.
sketchy because that's
I
still
don't
his
know.
content and that's
Yeah.
actually stealing.
Okay,
Because
yeah, I
it's
suppose.
content,
I think the
like,
hit list is the best solution, in my
I feel
opinion.
like
Hit
you
list.
either. I think it was Garish said it in the general chat. I think you either like keep his times with his names or just remove it completely. Like there is no like middle ground in this because yeah, it is like that is his, well they are his runs, that is his content. You can't just not associate him with that.
Yeah.
That's kind of where I am. I think it just should be full removal, and it makes it easier for like the average person because every time someone, say they just throw the times on the leaderboard without talking or without saying his name or giving a link to video,
Mhm.
every single
new runners will be
time
confused.
someone shows up, they're gonna ask about that, and then this thing's never gonna die.
Yeah, it really
Yeah,
sucks.
definitely.
Cause yeah, so it's like some of the ILs especially, like it's obviously good to see where time save is on the times which are currently stated as world records,
Mhm.
and I don't know.
I think the
kinda
forum
sucks that they
post-
deleted them.
Forum post is a good idea because it absolves Halo runs of any responsibilities with him, but we all know that he had all the records anyways.
Yeah.
So we're all going to want to know what the actual world record is because we want to beat it. So,
Yeah,
but
like
it
if
keeps it out
there's,
of.
if there's going to be any kind of acceptable middle ground, it's probably that.
Mhm.
Well, what's the difference between having it in a forum post or just having it on the leaderboards, though?
The forum post is created by the user, but Halo runs admins have to accept the actual leaderboard post and verify it and everything. So they take the responsibility for that.
I think it's more towards the post acknowledging that this is what the time is and is considered record. If we want the site to be accurate, we can beat this. But at the same time, it doesn't promote or support, the runner for the reasons he was
Exactly.
removed for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree completely.
I have
Okay,
mixed
I
feelings
think
about that.
we've actually done pretty good on that then. Like, it's in a pretty good state. Has anyone made a forum post that actually just lists the times? Yeah.
Parrot talked about doing it, but I don't think anyone actually has yet.
Okay.
In your chat, Dustin just said something that he did.
Yeah, he has a forum post, but it's not times. It's some other.
Oh
small
yeah, it's
text.
not. You're right.
Yeah. Okay. So
So
yeah,
everyone agree with that. Anything else to say?
like, it just like it's gonna suck like when people. It's just having to deal with new people coming along, especially if like MCC comes to PC, if we do get new runners or whatever, having to
Alright.
deal with the fact that a lot of the world records don't
Okay,
exist
I have
anymore,
the
but-
solution. We replace Rana's name with nails. Got him.
Everyone-
Another issue though is what if Reyna does keep running, and he does get more world records eventually.
Yeah, that's
What
a
will
good point.
happen then?
Sucks for him.
The record hit
Yeah.
list gets updated as, new records are produced. The same
Yeah.
thing happened with history. Like, he was running way into 2017, and he had all the ILs for a while, and he'd beat, if they got beat on Halo runs, stuff like that.
Yeah. Like, yeah. That's fine. So right, this is probably where it starts to get more controversial. There's a lot of talk in the Hilarans Discord as to whether Rana should be labeled a sexual predator or purely just a creep or like
Sexual deviant.
Okay. So,
yeah, go ahead,
yesterday,
FC.
I actually kind of interviewed Dustin to get like a huge checklist of everything Rana did. We have screenshots to back up all of these claims, along with personal confessions from Rana on the video he made on the subject. So, let's get this started.
Yep.
First off, before GDQ, Rana really started coming on to Dustin, like constantly sending him messages going on about how much he liked him and whatnot. And Dustin kept telling him countless times to stop. Like, that is the exact definition of sexual harassment. It's defined as unwelcome sexual remarks or physical advances. Rana admitted to constantly sending Dustin porn. It's in his video if you want to see that. Plus, I actually just found this out yesterday. I posted a screenshot in the channel that you told me
Okay.
to, Dubzo.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it on stream
He-
now. I'm having a couple of issues, but I'll get that up in a second. Keep talking.
Okay. He actually was telling Dustin he was only going to buy one key card for their hotel at GDQ to essentially force them to always be together and to make it to where they'd have to spend time alone. And
Yeah.
a point I really want to drive home here is people are kind of downplaying this, saying Dustin should have just blocked him. But imagine if Rana did all of this to a woman. Like,
Yeah.
I know instinctively sexual harassment towards men is kind of just not taken as seriously. But imagine if he constantly sent a woman porn links, being told multiple times to stop, but he kept doing it and then tried to set it up to where they would have to essentially be alone in a hotel together. Like, just imagine what your reaction to that would be. I don't think there's any question whatsoever here that what he did was sexual harassment. Like, it definitely is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's, like the whole keycard thing is I don't know. I just can't understand like this thing made a point of saying you can get multiple key cards. Like hotels do provide multiple key cards, but
Yeah.
for whatever reason, Rana like was insistent on having the one key card, so that
Well-
they had to be together at all times.
Yeah.
Did he give a
No.
reason, like, for money, or was it literally just because he wanted them to be alone?
Trust
Said it was the
issues.
trust issues, I believe.
Trust
Oh,
issues.
wow.
I actually
I remember.
posted a screenshot of this.
I'm
If
trying
Dubs
to-
I should,
Monitor capture is not working.
I should point out that a lot of the private messages between the two, obviously we're not going to go through all of them, but it's
Yeah.
extremely abusive behavior and attempted manipulation and just grooming and whatnot.
Yeah.
And to add to that, with Rana's video that he made, it was very clear that he doesn't know what sexual harassment is, because he even
Yeah.
said, I talked to him about sex and he said he didn't want any of it, but I kept talking to him about it in hopes that eventually he would come around. If that's sexual harassment, then I'm guilty. You basically just define sexual harassment.
I
And
think
this isn't isolated to just Dustin, is it? Like, there's
No.
other people who were sent a bunch of porn and all that other crap.
Yeah,
Yep.
a little bit.
Including
Wolfie showed some screenshots of that too.
I'll get this up in big 1 minute.
Like, they were just talking about music, and then Rana sent him back porn as if it was just like another casual interest sharing, like to him. sharing porn is on the same level of sharing music interests.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's clarify something. There's also nothing wrong with that if both parties are consenting, but it was
Yeah.
made very
Right.
clear
Yeah,
in
yeah,
all
yeah.
of these cases that this was not okay.
Exactly.
Like talking about
Mhm.
porn is unorthodox, but it's yeah. There's nothing actually bad about that in a way. It's just the fact
Yeah.
that it was made clear to him that people didn't want to see it, and he still insisted.
Yeah.
That's
Uh,
when it becomes wrong.
I think something else that needs to be mentioned, though, is that Rana clearly has some kind of developmental problems, meaning he literally has, like, the mind of a 10-year-old.
Yeah,
I'm
So,
I
what
gonna
I'm
I'm
getting
gonna
at
hold
with
you up on that
this.
real quick. Sorry, I
Okay,
just want to
go
say
ahead.
go ahead.
we probably shouldn't analyze someone
Right,
else
right.
without being professionals.
Mm.
For sure. But
I
I
agree.
think what anyone can say without being a professional is that he has no concept of social skills or social norms because he legitimately doesn't even know why it's so weird to keep sending people porn links. And I think if this were an actual like criminal case, the defense would be able to plead some kind of disability. Like I think he needs psychological help, not like punishment, not constant insults. He needs to learn like basic social concepts and social skills.
The thing is, I've tried on multiple occasions to, reason with him and actually try to help him and be a friend to him. But then I realized that was a pretty, far off effort because he doesn't want help because he doesn't think anything is wrong with him. So there's not
Right.
really much you can do at that point.
I've also tried helping him a lot with that stuff, and I also got the exact same results. And I
Mhm.
think Wolfie has done a little bit of that too.
Wolfie has, you have, I have, yeah. Like
And
a
I'm
lot
not
of us
sure
have
why,
tried.
because at this point it kind of felt like a waste of time. But,
Yeah.
I'm a good natured person at heart, so I want to help people that are clearly fucking up if I can.
Yeah, it's like I think he's obviously he mentioned it I think previously that he's seen therapists or something in the past and he didn't like it or something, but I don't know, like he was obviously like his obsession with Dustin, he said himself that it was unhealthy and that it was like wrong, but he never did anything to try stop it. It didn't seem like, at least from my perspective, through the DMs I
I can
received.
I can kind of elaborate
Yeah, go
with
ahead.
that. I'm not sure exactly how personal this is. This is actually extremely personal. But
Okay, go ahead.
what he said was his mother thought he had a mental problem, which we don't know because like it could either be the mother trying to force the doctors on him, or he has the problem and the doctors didn't know what it was. So she was
Yeah.
sending him to doctors to try to get him evaluated, and they didn't really know what the cause was according to him. And I think when he was 12 or 13, he was put basically in the loony bin, which had him not be able to go to school or do other things. Which, I mean, you could kind of see that something like that could create his kind of mindset that he has now if he was kind of like on a spectrum of sorts. But the problem is we don't know who was the loony, and was he
Yeah.
created to be one, or was he one to begin with?
Yeah.
It is true. I think pretty much anybody who has interacted with him thinks he needs professional help. We wouldn't know what he has, but I think what his fans should be doing and what we should be doing is what AFC said. Try to get him to get professional help of some kind because he will hurt himself as well as others because he can't control himself.
Yeah.
Right. And
So,
speaking of his fans, I think we need to mention the fact that a lot of people in his Discord are trying to convince him he did nothing wrong and that it's like some huge conspiracy because they just don't want him on Halo runs for some reason.
Yeah.
That's really toxic and it's preventing him from having any kind of real reflection that could help him learn from this. I think
mhm.
he should honestly just delete his Discord at least for the time being,
I agree with that
and
statement
seek help.
because
Yeah.
right. No,
Because
I've been a part of his Discord since
You.
I found speedrunning because of him.
Yeah. Are you still in his
So
Discord right now, by the way?
I am,
Okay, that's good.
but well, I've just totally lost track of what AFC had said before.
It's like his Discord is toxic and he
Deleting
should
it.
probably.
Right. So the reason I'm here right now, coming from that Discord, is because I want to help Rana and I want him to get help. But you know, there are a
Right,
lot of
and
people in his Discord that clearly don't, and for some reason they call themselves fans of his and everything, but they don't care about his actual well-being, and it's really sad.
Yeah. It's like,
something that I saw they were saying there was that they don't know the evidence that suggests he's a sexual predator. And to that, I think we did a pretty good job of saying everything he did. Like, there's no
Mhm.
question to it. Rewatch the
Yes.
VOD. I went
See,
over
Yeah.
everything.
In that
he
case,
did
I
in
think they might have a
detail.
little bit of tunnel vision because they probably didn't watch any of that or listen to it.
Well,
Yeah.
they're also
Right.
going off of Rana's word, and he also went back on what he said. Like, he claimed, I don't know, someone watched his giant different video that wasn't the Twitch VOD, where he
Yeah.
didn't even address any of the things that people were accusing him of. I mean, there was a bunch of harassment, and there was actually, like, child predator stuff with his friend's 15-year-old girlfriend and those news, and he's just claiming none of that exists, and very clear that it does. You know, we have screenshots of him saying these things, and then he admitted on stream, which we all saved, even though, you know, he deleted it to try to cover his tracks. It's still there. We have everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, I don't know whether. Yeah, I don't know whether Rana is going back on his word and stuff because he actually wants to, or because he's being manipulated by his Discord into the thing that he's doing nothing wrong, or whether it's just a combination of the two. To be honest. Because like Rana, as soon as like if he thinks something, even if like 20 people tell him that he's wrong, if one person tells him he's right, he'll just commit to that. He's like one of those sort of people.
Yeah, it's a little bit
like-
of confirmation bias. They tell him he's right and make him feel good about his decisions, even if they're the wrong thing.
Yeah, it's like the Halo 2 thing. There's a bit of drama recently where Rana banned me and a couple of us in his chat. Gryphon was there because we were saying that a strat that he was doing wasn't consistent. It was bad. This is obviously
remember
not
that.
relevant to this, but he like there was multiple people telling him it was bad and he was timing it wrong, but because a couple people were like, "Oh, this is amazing," he just instantly just dismisses everyone that's telling him he's wrong, and just bans them. It's like, I don't know. He's very easy to manipulate, I guess, in that regard.
I'm not sure about that because over the course of the thing, I had completely believed that Dustin was 100% in the wrong. So he might actually not want confirmation bias, but make it feel like it's confirmation bias. Whether he's doing that consciously or not, I'm not sure, but like, I can tell you it was very easy to believe that Dustin was in the wrong.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I can say against Dustin, it's that he probably shouldn't have gone to GDQ.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean,
Should have just blocked him.
But if we were to, like,
Dustin didn't handle it too well.
assign blame, I'd say it's probably like 90% Rana's fault and only 10% Dustin's fault.
I mean,
Where
that
it gets
bad
sketchy,
decision.
because
yeah, I
victim
agree.
blaming isn't going to solve anything, regardless of what the victim could have done to change any of this, or victims, whatever you want to call them.
I agree.
It doesn't change that it still happened, and the person doing said things still did them.
Yeah.
That's the real issue here.
Dustin should have been able to go to GDQ without feeling unsafe. That's the point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Since we're talking about the whole is Rana a sexual predator, Jack, do you want to talk about stuff that he said to you?
Oh god.
It's up to you.
It's the grooming
I
stuff.
could. Okay. So
I'll show the screenshots now.
yeah. So after like the whole Dustin thing, like after Dustin like blocked him and all that, Rana kind of like went to me afterwards. I have one screenshot I didn't post yet, but the reason I'm banned in his Discord, the reason is I quote, "It reminds me of Dustin too much. Everything that hurts shall go."
Yeah, I
So,
think he
like,
showed that on stream actually.
yeah, so yeah, I remind him of Dustin too much. He's like said to me in the past, I remind him of Dustin like way too much. Um, there is, yeah, the screenshot you're showing now.
Yeah.
He wanted to go to ESA, which like at the time with I had nothing against because this was all still kind of like foggy and no one knew what was going on.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, he like said to like room at ESA and stuff, and I was like, yes, like I've not got a problem with that because again at the time this wasn't out, this wasn't clear
Yeah.
why what's happened, and then he was asking me to go to ESA and like cuddle with him like every night for hours,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and I said like that's I'm not comfortable with that,
Mhm.
and he said like, oh yeah, we'll just like do that. You can wear, I think it's in one of the screenshots, yeah, one of the other
Yeah.
screenshots where he asked me to
Yeah.
like put on skirt and socks because it was kind of gay,
Yeah.
and he said like yeah, the dress was kind of overkill. It was a thought, so I'd feel better with it to feminize the situation.
Wow.
But also in that screenshot, he says, which I find this to be ridiculous, about the whole cuddling and dressing. He said, but since you're a friend and gay, I thought it was alright, it wouldn't hurt you. And from that, I knew, like, that was an immediate red flag of,
Yeah.
like, he's, it feels like he's just going to people that he thinks, like, wouldn't,
You
like,
can take advantage of.
I guess I would say that. Like,
I think he
Yeah. Sorry. Go on.
no I think Rand is someone who hasn't gotten much affection in his life, so he doesn't really understand it and inappropriateness and that kind of thing. So, if someone's nice to him, I think he kind of latches onto that very quickly and gets obsessive like he did with Dustin.
Yeah, but he makes
Right.
it unnecessarily sexual.
I
You're
think
right.
this all just goes back to him having very low concepts of social skills and social norms, which just all goes back to him needing psychological help.
Right.
Yeah. Wait, Jack. He offered to pay for your flights to ESA
yes, he also offered to pay for my flights to ESA.
if
And there is,
if you slept in a bed with him.
yeah, there is another
Okay.
screenshot, the one which is all him, and it starts with him saying, I don't understand.
Yeah. Sorry. I'll show
Um,
that. Yeah.
he says, in the first message he sent, it's on about me going to Vienna with him to meet up with him at his house instead of ESA.
Mhm.
And I think it was in that one, he said, yeah, I'll pay for your flight where I recovered from my situation. It's not expensive, or we share the cost.
Yeah.
And when he says, I was just thinking if you come here, we can hang out, check out town, play video games or whatever, plus
Yeah.
is literally, yeah, just like cuddling for a while. And with Wolfie saying in your chat that Rana got jealous that I talked to Dustin,
Yeah.
Rana had messaged me several times, like clearly upset that Dustin was talking to me more than him. He got a, I think it was like once he might have like blocked me because I was talking, like because Dustin wouldn't talk to him at the time,
Yeah. He
and I
thought it
was
was your
talking to
fault.
Dustin a lot, and yeah, I wouldn't say he thought it was my fault. It was, I think he was just jealous. Like
Yeah.
I wouldn't say there was like a blame associated with it. I think he was just like
He was just
upset that
yeah,
Dustin was
straight.
talking to me, and
Like,
it was clear
there
in his
probably was blame. You saw how if you watched his video, Jack.
bits and pieces.
Yeah, like most of it is just him obsessively messaging Dustin, and he was stating that he was like worried or whatever that they wouldn't be able to talk.
Yeah, in that video,
So
he also shows a screenshot which says Dustin's asking someone else to voice chat. No,
yeah,
someone asked Dustin to voice chat in like 5 minutes, and Dustin said sure, but then Dustin said no to Rana.
yeah,
It's stuff like that that Rana gets kind of like weird about.
yeah.
Oh,
So
and speaking of that, I just want to make the point real quick that in Rana's video, where he was trying to justify all this, he was trying to say that the only reason he kept pestering Dustin was to set up details about the trip and like what they're gonna commentate for the run and whatnot. Even
yeah,
though later on he admitted to constantly sending porn, so he kind of contradicts himself. But yeah, he tried to create like this false equivalence between I just want to talk to you to set up information about the trip, but yeah, he's trying to just conflate that with the sexual harassment, which it's bullshit.
yeah,
I just wanted to bring that up.
yeah. But like the stuff that Jack has just shown is like you cannot say that he's not a sexual predator based upon that. Like he's literally trying to groom someone into doing sexual acts with him. Like I don't even. There's some DMs here that I've had with Rana. This is how I knew about the stuff with Jack because Rana was basically asking me whether I thought it was okay to do what he was doing. So like he's basically talking like he's trying to say if hugging was sexual, and he was talking about hugging in a bed, and I was telling him yeah that's probably sexual, and then he was talking about offering to pay for tickets, and if he paid for tickets would I do it, and I was just like it's just surreal.
I just found another screenshot which is like off topic, like with what's going on now. But Rana did message me once. He messaged me a lot about Dustin's eye color, and
Yeah.
Rana actually
Oh.
said, "I'll give you money if you find out Dustin's eye color for me." He
Yeah,
was willing to pay me to find out what color his eyes was.
yeah. Dustin actually told me that Rana actually tried to talk to people that Dustin knew in real life to get personal information about him.
It wasn't it to make a character in
In
a
Soul
video
Calibur.
game?
Yep, he was trying
Yeah.
to remake Dustin in Soul Calibur, and he
Yep.
wanted to be effective as
When
possible.
did the new Soul Calibur come out? That was like
A couple months ago.
yeah. So he
On my
Sometime last
birthday,
year.
October 19th.
okay. So well he said that the last 6 months he's done nothing to bother Dustin, but that is clearly not
When did he
true,
get his body pillow? Sorry, I felt like I interrupted you there. I'm bad.
No. When did he get his body pillow?
Yeah.
I can
Does anyone
find
know?
out. He sent me a screenshot of it.
Yeah, wait,
Because
is this
Said it was
screenshot-
around his birthday, didn't he?
G-Pro, did
Is
you
he-
link the screenshot talking about it?
I
Right?
linked the screenshot to you.
I linked one about it. Yeah. I think two actually.
Yeah. I'm trying to
Because
find it.
whenever that was, when he got it, and he admitted to this on stream, Dubzo was in that call to
Yep.
pretend it was Dustin, and it was very not safe for work material
Yes.
as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what he told me. He liked the character on it, Astolfo.
Yeah, I've got a
Astolfo.
screenshot. I got a screenshot on stream right now about talking about this with G-Pro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He likes the character because it reminds him of Dustin.
Yeah, because Dustin liked Astolfo.
Yeah. So like, yeah, he
He got it in July.
so yeah, it was
Or around
it was on his
July.
birthday, wasn't it? He said that he was
Yeah, he
getting
said
it for his
He sent me a
birthday.
screenshot of how much it cost on the 7th of July, which was $278.10, if anyone was curious.
Jesus,
Yeah. And that's with
Yeah.
a $30 discount.
that's fucked.
The comment at the bottom, it's like when G-Pro and Rana are discussing it, it says, I feel like laying in bed 24/7 and just hugging my fictional Dustin.
Yeah,
Dot, dot, dot.
sounds about right.
Yep.
He even says immediately after, OMG, this is so fucked up. It's like he knows that it's
He's
wrong. but
self-aware.
yeah. So like even when he's typing these messages, he knew that it was wrong, but now he is trying to claim that it's not wrong. I don't know.
I don't believe I have a screenshot of it. It was in a Twitch chat yesterday. I think it was yours, Dubzo, where he said something like I gave an exact date and said, "This is the date that I don't have an obsession problem anymore," and that's not how it works.
Yeah, like if it thinks it just disappeared, but I don't know.
I think I was actually in his Discord. Let me go look for that real quick.
Yeah.
So, what should we conclude from all this?
We haven't even touched on the underage shit, have we?
Yes. I have
No,
like
you haven't.
one more
Does
thing I
anyone
want
want to talk
to
about that?
add. No,
Gryphon, did you want to talk about that?
Sure, I'll give a TLDR of it.
Go
So
for it.
basically, we have screenshots and Rana admitting on stream that he's into younger women. And one of the screenshots specifically says his friend showed him nudes of his girlfriend, who is 15, and he claims it was okay because the age of consent in Austria is 14, but that's not really how it works. There's a maximum age exception gap of 3 years for that, and
Mhm.
she still is a minor until she's 18. And Ron and his friend are 24 and 25, obviously not 18, well above that gap. So what they engaged in is distribution of child pornography. Rana said he was jealous of his friend's girlfriend being so young, and he's admitted many times of liking young teens. 16 to
flesh.
24 he's claiming now, but as you know, that's still under the age of majority of 18. So it's very clear that, he's trying to go back on all his words there to make him not seem like a bad guy now, but very clear by definition, he is a pedophile.
Yeah. Yeah.
I found that screenshot I was talking about in his Discord. I posted it.
Awesome. Anyone else want to like talk about this underage shit? Like, I don't know how Rana can really defend that.
Yeah, there's not really much else to say about it, I don't
It's
think.
very cut and dry. There's no way to spin it. There's not an interpretation from everything he's admitted to everything people have screenshot, all of that. He's by definition a pedophile.
Agreed.
talking about RHM's screenshot
Mhm.
where he says about the obsessive behavior, I just remembered. So in Rana's server, there was a role hired an admin or moderator, like senpai, it was called.
Yeah.
Yes.
And originally that was just Dustin.
Yeah, I
But
remember
he
that. Yeah.
added me and someone else, Steve, T2 Steve, to the role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that role, there was another channel you could see called Dustin Obsession Filter.
Oh yes, we should talk about
I
this.
believe it's been deleted now.
Mhm.
But in that
When did
channel,
it get deleted? Do you know?
I
or-
have no idea, honestly. But I do remember like he used that whenever he wanted to message Dustin. After he felt like he'd been messaging Dustin too much, he would instead type in that chat like all the stuff he wanted to say to him, to Dustin, but couldn't
Yeah.
or didn't want to rather
Yeah.
because he felt like he typed too much.
Yeah. Like that was referenced a couple of times in Dustin's thing, right? That was where some inappropriate stuff was mentioned, right?
Sorry, wait.
Yeah, like in that channel that like there was like inappropriate comments, right?
I
Do
don't
you
take my
know?
word, but I believe so. I
Yeah.
never like wanted to read through the channel for a
Yeah.
good reason. But I do remember Dustin had the role, like the senpai role, and you could see the chat. So even though like the channel was there to like not let Dustin see the messages, he gave Dustin the role, so Dustin could still see him.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
So, anything else to talk about?
Yeah,
in
G
this
Pro, do you want to
regard?
talk about anything in particular? Because you obviously spoke to Runner a lot through this.
I mean, I do want to say that outside of the minor stuff, it seems like he didn't actually do anything to Dustin specifically.
Uh-huh.
And about this stuff in particular, like, I think the screenshots that I showed you, some of them are a bit tamer
Yeah.
than some of the other stuff that I've seen. It does get a lot worse. Rana is a very, very creepy individual, but outside of the possession of what could be classified as child pornography, as of right now, he has not done anything to physically harm somebody,
No.
but he has thought about it.
Yeah.
He has very much thought about it. So what I'm thinking is that as long as he doesn't really fall through with this stuff, luckily, um, as long as he does not fall through with this stuff, I think it's kind of, hard to really pin anything on him outside of the child pornography. It's just, I think it just all comes back to the fact that he definitely has mental problems.
Yeah.
And the people that follow him need to realize that. They absolutely need to realize that.
Yeah.
And the people that are against Rana also need to realize that and need to stop perpetuating drama. They need
okay.
to start either distancing themselves or trying to at least get people to realize things. I know that's not really part of the sexual predator stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
I think he has the ability to become one though.
Yeah, he needs to accept help, and that goes back to what AFC mentioned earlier about his Discord being toxic, because those guys should be looking for an apology, and also, like, yeah, no problem, Jack. But yeah, those guys should be like trying to like help him get better and accept
Yeah,
that he
they
has made mistakes rather than telling him that he hasn't done anything wrong when he clearly has.
exactly.
It's just
And
it's
I
awful to
think
see.
after this stream, the excuse of I don't know if there's enough evidence to say he's a sexual predator is wrong. Like,
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
rewatch
Yeah.
this VOD. We listed an overwhelming amount of
Mhm.
specific examples with screenshots
Yeah.
that show clear sexual harassment at
Yep.
the very least.
Yeah. We
It's
we all in agreement that Rana is a sexual predator.
Definitely.
yeah, like that shouldn't even be a debate.
Okay.
It's just what I said, pretty much. People need to stop being petty. Do the due diligence, and either distance yourself or try to help.
Yeah, like insulting him is not the way to go because, as I said, he clearly has no concept of basic social skills or social norms. So you should be encouraging him to get professional help so he can
Right.
learn these things
I don't
and
know how
Things
not do
like
them
unstable he is
ever again.
either.
things like
I
Rana's
think that's
Discord
the way
chat.
forward rather than insulting him over all this.
Yeah.
Things
Which
like his.
Sorry,
No,
let
go ahead.
RHM talk.
Yeah, yeah.
Second.
Okay.
No, okay. I was just saying things like his Discord and like the crab video aren't gonna help him. They're
Right.
just
Yeah.
kind of
right.
blinding him to the fact that he needs help.
Yeah.
It's also promoting the people in his Discord to think that it's right to stay by his side and not try to help him.
Right.
So shame
Yeah,
on
yeah.
you, Dustin.
Yeah,
Because
Dustin should
the
be.
crab video made the whole situation from Dustin's side look more immature and petty,
Yep.
Yeah.
and so they
Mhm.
didn't take it as seriously.
True.
And I think we talked about that. A good reason why neither of them are going to be in call, obviously, is because we can't cater to one side. We're trying to make this pretty objective.
Right.
And any aside attacking each other or any aside getting like preferential treatment is not going to help anything.
Right.
Yeah, like, I still think Dustin made a few mistakes in this, but the blame is overwhelmingly on Rana overall, I'd say.
Absolutely.
We do
Think-
need
So yeah, go on, Brad.
uh,
Brad, you talk. You haven't spoken in a little while.
sorry.
I think
It's okay.
just one quick thing about the crab video is just like if Dustin can like make light of the situation, at least have like a little bit of a laugh out of it, which was like the whole point because he linked it in like Dubzo's stream, and I don't know, at the time it was kind of funny. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do, but I don't think he should necessarily be like criticized for it if he's just having a bit of a laugh. It's better to laugh than like him be upset about the situation.
Yeah, by
Well-
all means, obviously do whatever you want that makes you feel good. No one's like going to hold anyone to any standards. It's just
Right.
Yeah.
attacking either side or whatnot.
I think-
obviously.
I think if he made the video and shared it amongst a few friends, I wouldn't have as much of a. I wouldn't say an issue. I don't really have an issue with it, but I wouldn't be saying what I've said about it. But he shared it
Yeah,
on the
yeah.
stream and like spread it around like wildfire. So
Yeah, he could have like
I-
unlisted the video and just linked it. I get that.
I really think that it wasn't the right thing to do because comes down kind of to gloating, and it
Yeah.
also, like said before, it hurts Rana's side, and in turn gives the people who want to defend Rana instead of help him more of an idea that they should be doing this.
It
And
made it,
I understand that. I just
to them, it made it look
so-
like the video was like a victory video, like Dustin maybe planned all of this all along and got what he wanted.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's the big
Yeah.
problem with that.
Yeah.
And-
No, yeah, because I'm pretty sure that is true.
Yeah.
Like, no, I don't think Dustin intended to get him banned from Halo runs, but the
No,
whole
but
idea of
Dustin
putting it
did
all together
go
was
into this trying to ban him from GDQ.
GDQ and
there,
ESA. Yeah.
and obviously that's not the right thing to do. And if
It's one of
it
the
was
Dustin
anyone
issues.
other than Dustin and he wasn't so vocal about it, he might not be in this situation. But the fact of the matter is, everything that happened happened.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
while the people going about it on both sides aren't exactly doing the right thing, the situation doesn't change.
Yeah.
I think if it were done for a laugh, if both sides could at least kind of laugh, if it doesn't insult or hurt somebody, or if it does insult one party, it needs to be, something that the other party could at least somehow laugh about. It hurts to be like that, and it causes more drama. It's okay to be like that, but it's not okay to do it specifically to gloat or to cause drama, and that's the problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that was his intentions, then I agree completely. But I don't know. At the time, the way I don't know, a few of us here watched it was just on Dubzo's stream just for a laugh, so I kind of didn't really think anything of it. I just thought it was kind of funny.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me think here. There was
So it-
something else I wanted to say just at the end here.
Yeah.
At the end of that, trying to think. I don't remember. If I remember, I'll.
Yeah. Okay. One thing I want to talk about is like hopefully like nothing ever this extreme will happen, but assuming a similar scenario comes up, like how do you guys think like Halo Run should deal with it? I don't know, or the community as well should react to it. I don't. Do you think it was handled well?
I think it's a
Not
little
as
bit
great as
early to think about future situations kind of like this, mostly because, we're not even on and over with this one. I think it was handled well. I think the admins were very professional about it. Obviously, they didn't go off of just Dustin's word, They went off of multiple people. There was very, very
Right.
clear evidence, like, what we went over. They made this
Yeah.
decision.
I have something to say about that in particular. When the admins found out about this situation, Goat Rope actually reached out to me, probably because my name was dropped in the paste bin. And he asked me what my opinion was on the situation. And he wanted to see if anything that Dustin said in the paste bin was valid. I'm guessing because either side of the party couldn't fully be trusted without a third-party source.
hmm
And I mean, basically, I was the person that provided the evidence that made the admins agree that Rana should be banned.
Okay.
So I do want to point that out. I also gave them Wolfie's accounts, though Wolfie was anonymous. Jack was supposed to be anonymous until I found out he was coming forward
Yeah.
with
Today.
that stuff as well.
Mhm.
Well, I mean with the admins before any of this went down, before they
Yeah.
even went into the general chat and talked about it. So, the basic thing about that was that they definitely asked for different opinions well before they even trusted Dustin's or Rana's opinion, which
Yeah.
is probably
That's
the
the
best
point.
way to go about it.
That was good. Yeah. I think they handled the behind the scenes stuff really well, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they should have been a bit more transparent, but it's
It's a lot of private stuff,
okay.
though.
Yeah,
I don't think they should
it's a
be
lot of
super
private.
transparent about everything that went down. This entire situation is very yikes. So
I think the
It's
announcement
rancid.
that Goat Rope made in the Halo Runs Discord was good. It was it wasn't anything specific, but it encapsulated everything that needed to be said, I think.
Right. I think
My
they
own
handled
point.
it smart. In a private conversation I had with G Pro, he said they took the pay spin and everything that Dustin had in Dustin's testimony seriously, but they also have dealt with him in the past and know that he's caused drama before, so they didn't want to act alone just on his testimony. And it was
Yeah,
the
that's good,
others
yeah.
that helped them make the final decision.
Yeah.
Like the only issue I had originally was the fact that Rana's times just disappeared off ailerons before any announcement was made. Like no one knew what was going on other than obviously the people that were directly involved. That's only a small thing though, obviously. The
I don't
announcement
know
was
if I
made a
said
few
the right
hours
person.
after.
I said a private conversation with Goat Rope. I think I might have
Oh,
said
you,
G Pro
yes,
by
you
accident.
said you said Rana. I was like, what?
I meant Goat
We've
Rope.
never talked before.
Oh,
Who
and
are you?
yeah, Dubzo to add to that, they still did make the statement and do the whole time deleting on the same day.
Yeah, it
While it
wasn't the
wasn't
same
at the
day. It
exact
wasn't.
same
Yeah,
time, I
it
think their
wasn't.
timing was still okay.
Right, so like, imagine that this all happens again. Like, do we think like the exact same shit should happen? Like, delete the times
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
make the
Yeah,
announcement.
I agree, minus all the streams and witch hunting.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely keep the drama out. I've been in a lot of drama in the past 9 years since I've been speedrunning, and let me tell you one thing, it's never fucking good. It always hurts the community. I think we should keep the toxicity outside of the community, and if we need to distance, just distance yourself. Like in this situation, distancing from Rana is a very good idea, though we need to at least educate the people, like,
Yeah, because
Rana needs help.
like the only problem
Dustin.
then is that you get quite like you're gonna get spammed with questions from the community, and you might get even more
Mm.
uproar because obviously Rana fans have heard everything and they're still complaining about the ban. If
Well, here's the
this
thing.
stuff wasn't told, and like it would have been much worse, I would have thought.
Yeah,
Like I
I
said,
think. Oh, I'm sorry. Go
Sorry.
ahead.
No, I found Halo 2 speedrunning because of Rana. Like, I found this whole community because of his stream. And that could happen to a lot more people, and they could come into his stream and not understand the kind of person that he has been to the community.
Yeah. Yeah,
if
true.
they do get involved, they can always ask, and we'll
Right.
give them the same statement.
And then this shit never
Goat
dies.
said. Well, I mean, you could
Yes.
just give them Goat's statement, and if they really wanted more, then they can ask about it. But it's not gonna just get drug up every time. I think a lot of people want it to die. I mean, we're not really
Yeah.
talking about it on stream. Obviously, this is an exception, but I think most runners have just tried to avoid it altogether.
Yeah.
I think if that kind of situation happens, like you just tell it to him straight. Like Rana was doing some creepy shit, and we don't want that. And if they try to fight back, you just say, "Look, we discussed this. If you want to try to discuss this further, we're gonna ask you to stop. This has already hurt the community enough."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this was. Sorry, I just want to say I think this was necessary because I don't think a lot of people knew everything that was going on with this constant sexual harassment. So to them, if enough people thought that it was unjustified that they removed it, then that could just make Halo runs look bad, which we don't
Yeah.
want, obviously.
Yeah, like Rana's stream that he did on the day he was banned was both really bad, but also really good in the sense that
It gave us more
for the
evidence.
same reasons as well. Yeah, like it showed everything, but that's kind of bad and good at the same time. in the
Yeah,
same
he was
sense.
kind of tying a brick to his ankle and jumping in the river at that point.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I mean, we have all that saved, so we can't go back on his word.
yeah,
No one's trying to crucify Rana. It's more so looking at his actions. And I mean, we all agree that he needs help for the things that he does or that he has done, but at the same time, we do need to distance because, I mean, if you had a friend who was like this, you would probably not want to talk to that person, and I mean, it's just better off for most people involved. You would try to help, educate, and try to get him help, but also kind of stay away from the situation because you could inevitably make it worse.
yeah.
And it's not like people are trigger happy to get Ron off the boards or anything. Obviously, having times removed hurts everyone, but
Right. But I also don't think any of us disagree we should separate from
yeah,
him.
no one well, people
I
who
shouldn't
use
say any of us.
logic
Yeah.
to objectively think about the situation, see why things are done, and all the evidence. I think most people with capable of using logic and reason are gonna agree with why he was banned, why he was removed.
Yeah,
Right.
I'd honestly like to speak to one of the Rana people that's like telling him he did nothing wrong.
Honestly, and
Yeah,
Let's
those
I
have
would too.
Glimlord get on.
Yeah, like he won't watch my stream because he's a normie. Like I don't know.
Normie.
Like he's one of the
He's
people that's
defending Rana
yeah.
vehemently. Yeah.
He's
You
not
wanna
involved in the
show
community
some-
whatsoever. He just watches Rana's streams only, and I feel like people like that are gonna not know about as much of what's going on and have as good of an opinion. I don't know.
Do you
Mhm.
want
Yeah.
to show some of his screenshots? He said some really
Oh yeah,
over
can
the
you
top
link that,
things.
Dustin? Yeah, basically, Glenmord essentially said that he hoped Dustin would kill themselves. Like
I think
I
that's
don't know.
disgusting, but honestly, I think it's also because Limor's trusting, he doesn't know anyone else, he doesn't know anything,
That's yeah.
only knows Rana's word and
So
Rana's mind and what's Rana's said. He's trying to paint himself as a victim, and all this is unjustified when it's not. And Glimlord, being close to Rana, is, I don't know, reacting like someone's attacking his friend.
Yeah.
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 I don't necessarily blame him, but I wish he'd be able to open up and be able to learn and, see other
Use
people's
logic.
perspectives. Yeah, and just see other people's perspectives as to why
You
things
see,
happening.
going back to what you said before, though, the people that actually think with logic and stuff are going to be the people that stay on Halo runs, and that's probably going to end up making it a better place because it weeds out all the people that are toxic and don't really think things through.
But that's another thing. That's what sucks for Rana because now Rana's literally just gonna be left with toxic individuals. Like on the stream when he did the stream on the day he was banned, like after all the drama stuff, like I stayed for a little bit whilst he was playing Halo 2, and the only people left in chat were just all completely toxic, were
Mhm.
victim blaming and yeah, saying like just stupid and fucked up shit, and trying to like immediately telling Rana that he did nothing wrong. It was just like it just sucks that
Yeah.
those guys. It's kind of good. Like they're gonna obviously distance themselves from Halo runs, but they're just gonna ruin Rana like, even more. I don't know. So,
It's sad that they would so blindly follow someone on the internet that they've never met. It makes you wonder what kind of people they're following in their daily lives IRL.
yeah, I have no idea.
Well, that's just what happens, though. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
can't do
that's
anything about it.
it's the reality of life. It's going to turn into an echo chamber maybe if he doesn't seek help.
Yeah,
But there's
Yeah.
nothing we can do about it. The reasonable individual probably, who
mean-
want to watch other people than Rana are going to pick on their side probably. But
Well,
Yeah, like I just want to say, if Rana is watching this, he needs to take a long break from his Discord and
Mhm.
streams and he needs to suck it up and see a doctor.
yeah.
That's
Like,
the only
what?
way
I don't
he'll
understand
be.
what bad could come from it.
he
That's
just
the
doesn't
only
trust him.
way he'll be able to learn from this and improve as a person.
Even if it's not a doctor, he needs to talk to like just someone like in person.
Like,
Like
even if it's just his sister, like,
yeah.
it needs to start with
Yeah.
someone.
He needs to go outside and actually like interact with people as well. I don't know. Do we want to conclude all this drama stuff?
it sucks, but it's justified. The end. I don't know.
Yeah.
Uh,
pretty much.
I mean, we should just learn. We should just learn from this. Just, Rana needs help, of course. We know that, and the people that follow him need to also realize that and
Yep.
try to help him get better.
Mhm.
But on the other side, Dustin needs to stop being so harsh and loading and insults and all this other stuff. I would say that Dustin's justified in trying to get Rana to not go to events because he
Yeah.
can be a danger.
Mhm.
But anything
Especially
outside of
recently.
that, like yes, we banned him, we are better than him, yes, needs to stop. It needs to stop because it's making things worse.
Yeah.
I've seen this shit happen. I've done this exact thing where I have gloated about this stuff. It does not help. It makes everything worse. Absolutely everything. It never helps. And whatever you're thinking about, you need to stop that. Just do the due diligence of, informing GDQ and all the other events. Make sure they know who he is, and then you can just stop, and then we can go about our lives. That's just going to be better for everybody involved. If Rana can get help, that's great. If he doesn't, that's his choice, and should help. The people that are around him should help.
Yep.
That's why we should, this podcast is mostly for educational purposes. We
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
hate Rana. We are upset about his actions and worried about how this can affect other people.
Yep.
If you think of it in any other way, then you're wrong. But
Yep.
we do want to stay away from that because we know he could harm other people.
Yep.
I think that's the way we should be going about it.
Mhm.
If we boil it further, we stir the pot, and I know I'm one to talk about stirring the pot. Thanks, back chat. But if we stir the
Yeah.
pot, it's gonna make it worse. Please don't do it. Remember
Yeah.
that there's other people in the community. They would
Yeah.
appreciate it.
I'm
if you
gonna say right
stopped.
now, this is the last time I talk about the drama on stream. Yeah, I'm just like, manning it.
Yeah,
I'm trying to
we've-
listen. I'm trying to listen, but Kronos' mic is having a fit right now.
Yeah, please mute it.
Would
Anyway,
Oh, yeah, I'm
you
muted.
like me to repeat?
Nah,
I can
I think we
no,
got
we
you.
got
We got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just want to say we've done pretty much all we can at this point. It's up to Rana now to decide how he wants to move forward.
I don't know if Rana's watched this or not, but
He probably won't.
no, neither will any of the people that are being toxic in his Discord. But yeah.
Yeah, the people that probably need to watch this the most
Won't
won't
watch it.
actually
Yep.
watch it.
6. I might put it on YouTube. I don't know though. Yeah, I might put it on YouTube unlisted, but we'll see.
Alright, so is that
Okay,
everything
yeah.
about Rana now?
I think we concluded it pretty well.
Easy clap.
Nice. I'll bring Jack back in here. Jack, hello.
Hey, sorry.
Do you want to
About-
say anything?
What have you just been talking about? Because I better just had to go. I've just came back.
We kind of went through everything. The topics on stream. We just kind of concluded right now. So
Just wrapping it up.
if you want to say anything before we wrap it up.
Okay, there is one thing I do want to say, because I know Rana's going to make another video on this.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh,
So-
that's right.
Yeah, so Rana did message me this morning, and I did reply. We had a little chat.
Mhm.
Because he sent me screenshots of like messages, like exchanges we've had,
Mhm.
showing like what he's gonna be putting in this video. So one thing I do want to say with the whole going to, in regards to me going to ESA with him and rooming with him, it was, let me find the exact screenshots he sent me, because where is it?
Are these ones we showed on stream earlier?
No, I didn't send. Oh, he deleted them. Oh, for God's sake. Okay.
Oops.
But the screenshots were basically, he asked me to like room with him, and I would say yeah, and he was like, yeah, we can like, I did say like when he asked about hugging, because he said hugging as well, not cuddling.
Mhm.
Bear in mind, a hug to me is like a 5 second thing.
Yeah.
I did say, I
Not
did
an
send a
all-night
message.
thing.
Sorry.
No, just keep going.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I did agree to like hugging like when I met him or like whatever, because to me that's just like,
Yeah,
go
like-
up, meet someone, like
Yeah, in the UK, like a hug is just like it's like
that's
an
just like when
action
you
that's like a
meet
5
someone.
second,
Yeah. So when he said that, I did agree to it.
Mhm.
And then the reason,
That might have
like-
misled him.
so like I didn't intentionally do it.
No.
So I know he's gonna bring it up, and I know he's gonna talk about it.
Yeah.
And uh, yeah, like that's just I don't know. It's the bad thing wasn't like I don't know how to word this. It started with a misunderstanding on my part. But then when it was like clarified what he meant, which was like days later, bear in mind. Um, when I clarified what he like exactly what he meant,
Mm-hmm.
and I said, okay, I'm like not comfortable with that. That's when he started getting like pushy with me. Um, so yeah, he's like he will say, and it's true that
You
I did
said
like agree
yes.
to it.
Yep. But it's
Um,
actually wrong.
but after I said no, and he pushed it and pushed it and pushed it. He
Yeah.
understands he pushed it. He feels bad for it, but yeah,
It was still yeah. Okay. That's fine. I'm glad you got the chance to clear that up before he got to put out the video.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Like I
That's pretty
mean,
much it.
yeah. So he never like this wasn't before. He never said that it was gonna be hugging in a bed, right? Like I don't know.
I can try and find the messages.
Yeah. All
Uh,
right.
uh,
Yeah.
I don't have to
Wolfie,
search find it.
do you wanna go? Do you wanna talk about stuff? Give a chance to
Uh,
speak.
Hello.
Hey.
Wolfie, you're real quiet.
Well, I'm using a headphone mic, but
I turned you up.
yeah. Um, as for my, I just wanted to share my past experiences with Rana. I wish I had the VODs to like provide evidence with this, but like when I was in
Yeah.
his Discord and stuff, I was learning. Last year during the summer, I was learning Twilight HD, Twilight Princess HD, and his obsession was with porn was like brought up a bunch during my streams and stuff, and that actually got me pretty heated. What
Yeah. Wait, so he just talk about porn on
Yeah, just
stream?
He
randomly.
was talking about porn in Trevelyan's stream not even a week ago, and Trevelyan was getting
Yeah,
pissed.
yeah, it's like a very bad habit of his. I tell him to stop, but he just keeps doing it.
Yeah.
Uh,
And he also earlier when I saw that Dustin was streaming his Discord and stuff, I was trying to like comfort Rana,
Mhm.
but like that ended up as as what someone said earlier about like if you're nice to Rana, Rana will cling on to that person and like quickly like try and be friends with them and stuff and like them or whatever or something like that, like get affected with them. And
Yeah.
like when I was trying to help him and comfort him, he tried to guilt trip me into pleading his innocence and trying to get unbanned with HR. Um, let me see if I could find the thing. But like that screenshot is like near the end of the conversation that I provided.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I
that
had
was
that.
like near the end, and I'm like, dude, there's evidence that you've done it. And then he's like, I was going through some shit. I was suicidal and not, and like I was saying that, well, you have affected Dustin in a very heavy way, and I'm like, there's no way I can help you out of this.
Yeah.
And then he's just being
Like
yeah,
he literally admits to lying about touching as well at the end there.
yeah, he's being a hypocrite about it, even
Yeah.
though earlier he admitted it in one of his streams.
Yeah. Yeah, he literally admitted it. Like
I
I
know
don't know.
yesterday, or not yesterday, whenever
His stream was yeah.
VOD was, he admitted it was an affectionate touch when Dustin was sleeping. I don't know how to interpret that.
Well,
But,
none of us were
uh,
there for that, so that's hard to
yeah.
interpret.
I believe.
I was there.
Yeah,
Wait, are you on about like
Oh no, I
interpreting
wasn't
like
there.
what he did, or
he keeps changing it. Once I was in voice chat with him, and he's like, or I was in voice chat with him like 2 days ago to like with all this stuff, trying to comfort him and stuff. And he's
Mhm.
like, dude, they were lying. I only touched his shoulder to wake him up, and I'm like,
that's
okay,
not what he
but
said
like,
to
yeah, I
me
know, but like
at all.
yeah, I know, like 6 months ago when we were dealing with this, we were both crying in voice chat because like I tried to relate to him. Like I was on Rana's side at first, but like after I heard Dustin's perspective, I was like, yeah, I'm not on your side anymore. And then
Yeah. Wait, what? Sorry, Jack. What did he say 6 months ago?
Um, I've just searched in our DMs. Sent me a message. He sent me 2 messages on the 30th of June.
Okay.
One says, "Was I pain in the ass constantly wanting to touch him and wrap my arm around him?" And another one says, "He wouldn't notice if I wrap my arm around him if he's asleep and drunk."
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I can
Mm.
screenshot both of those as
Yeah,
well if
do
you want
it.
to show it on
Do it if you-
stream.
Please
if you
do.
can.
I
Yeah,
remember
mean,
him saying
Jesus,
that too.
okay. That doesn't say that he did do it, though, right? It's just saying that he.
No, that's conspiring to rape him,
Uh,
pretty much. So
The messages don't say he did. I'll put it in the
Yeah,
screenshots.
that is actually kind of rapey.
They don't
What the
say
heck?
he did it.
Oh, sorry, I muted ASC.
Still creepy as hell, though.
I
Yeah,
believe
whether
there
he-
is one saying he did
whether
it.
he did or didn't, conspiring to do it is just as bad. It's the intent that matters.
Yeah.
Did you show the thing about the handcuffs? By the way.
That,
Oh, God.
I completely forgot.
Wait, oh yeah,
I wanted
wait.
it to stay that way.
Oh my
Hang
god, the
on.
handcuff.
I
Is
can
that
only
linked
imagine where
already?
this is going.
Oh great, I search handcuff and get 14 result.
Don't talk about alcohol. You're underage.
You're just talking about wanting to be a police officer.
Yeah.
Oh, I
definitely.
Obviously.
wish.
Stop! Come out with your hands up.
I need to find like some relevant messages to it.
Just talking about
Honestly,
with
at
your body
this
pillow.
point, I think we're kind of just beating a dead horse.
No, we just
Like,
concluded
Yeah, I was gonna
it.
say.
yeah, we've shown an overwhelming amount of evidence already. Like, do you want to keep going with that?
If you think it's important, we can show.
I say
It's-
whatever continues to build upon the argument we're trying to make is good. So yes.
Sure.
True.
Yeah, I also just want to
Yeah.
say, in your chat, Dustin saying that Rana bought Dustin alcohol. Did you not ask for that, Dustin?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Dustin asked for
Yeah,
that, though.
because Rana's super against alcohol and drugs, and that Rana got like really upset when he found out that I drink. Like, he got really upset about that.
Oh yeah,
Um,
speaking of that, something that I forgot to mention is that Dustin told me that Rana tried to prevent him from associating with other people at GDQ by calling them alcoholics and drug users.
Oh yeah.
I've seen those screenshots, I think, right?
Yeah, I don't know if that was just an attempt to try keep Dustin to himself or whatever, which was like a constant theme for the GDQ trip.
I'd believe it considering the keycard shenanigans
Yeah,
he pulled.
exactly. It's kind of consistent with that, isn't it? I mean, I remember the one time that Ranis drank on stream, and it did not end well. I had to listen to some awful DMs.
yeah,
Not
he
in-
did.
Not in like I don't know. He was very unstable after drinking.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
I do remember he sent me a WhatsApp of like, what was it, wine? Like a bottle of wine. He was like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna drink
Yeah.
this." I'm like, "That's not a good idea. If you don't like drinking, if you don't drink before." He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna drink this and stream it," and then he like regretted it the day after.
Yeah. Did not go well.
There is a small thing that I feel like Wolfie would probably want to bring up, is that
Mhm.
he
What?
does constantly, in calls, masturbate.
Oh god.
Oh no.
When
What?
when he just muted.
So
Okay.
let's talk about what the evidence for that is.
That's hard because it's in voice chat.
It's
Yeah,
It
We
but
don't
just
have
just
recordings.
describe it. I guess would be the best way to provide evidence for that.
You want us to describe that?
okay. So
Not
Jack, that voice call when you were
When
looking
he
at
muted?
lolly bed sheets.
okay,
Yeah,
hang
yeah.
on. So the first thing with the when he would just mute himself in voice chat, there was several times. It was in the Halo Run server, right, Wolfie? That one time it was
That?
you,
Yeah.
Rana, and I. He
Yeah.
muted,
Yeah.
and you told me why he does that, and I started laughing, and then he deafened himself,
Yeah,
and I just
yeah,
burst.
Wait,
Yeah.
so he unmuted mid.
No.
mid-mic.
No.
He stayed muted, but he was
Uh-huh.
only muted. He wasn't deafened. And then when I started laughing, that's when he deafened himself.
Oh.
And yeah, there was one time when I was in a private call with Rana,
Uh-huh.
and he was screen sharing, like showing me something, and then I went for like I don't know, like dinner or something. I was gone for a little while. I
Yeah.
came back. He was still screen sharing, but he was looking at like body pillow covers and stuff again.
Oh yikes.
And I can't remember. Like I don't think they were sexual.
Like, has he ever like confessed to masturbating in voice calls?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, he
Yeah.
has.
Does he say "be right back," going for a wank
No.
or something?
He
like-
just
No,
goes.
No.
but he has told us after the fact that he does do that while in streams. Or I mean, not while
Not
in streams,
streams.
in
Not
voice
streams.
voice calls.
In voice calls, and he likes to
Jesus.
quote unquote fall asleep in voice calls.
Yeah.
Hmm.
The
Okay.
last time Wolfie and I talked to him, he was sounding very relieved and said, "Hey, just stay here until I fall asleep."
Yeah, I was not letting that happen. I was uncomfortable and
Jesus
left.
Christ. It's a big yikes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright. Are we gonna finish this off? Is there anything else that needs to be said?
Yeah, weren't we concluding half an hour ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, but then I came back. Sorry.
Yeah. No,
I
is,
mean,
is there anything
good
else
extra
anyone
stuff.
feel I need to say? I think
I think we got enough out there now.
Yeah.